Microsoft is constantly updating and upgrading their hardware. They're making things better and easier and more accessible for all of us gamers. It's one of the things that I like best about like the newer generations and things is that we always get the latest and greatest. It's not like everything's going to be static like it was back in the day. You know, you kind of paid for something, you got what you paid for. It just kind of was what it was. Now we sort of get these situations where we get a console and they are updating it pretty regularly, which I think is a really cool thing for them to do. And, you know, just as a fan, it's nice to see that nothing gets left out in the cold for too long. Now, of course, there's always going to be certain games and certain things that I really wish that they did a little bit better. But, you know, it is nice to see them actually go out there and address a lot of these issues right from the start, you know. And listen, I always thought it was weird, okay, because Xbox 360 started kind of bare bones, and that's my favorite era, by the way, Xbox 360, and then started eventually, I mean, think about it, man, a console launching, and there was no such thing as like a streaming Netflix when that launched, or a Hulu, or any of that stuff, right? So the fact that we get so much, you know, all these years later, I think is great. But it was really cool to me at the time when the Xbox One and it was announced, and even for the PS4, there was all these apps, there was all these things that the Xbox 360 could do, and then all of a sudden with the Xbox One, you know, they couldn't do all that stuff. So I thought it was sort of weird that you would come out with something and it would actually do less. And so to a way, I think Microsoft learned from that mistake, because if you look at the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X and S, everything is kind of the same. Like we have the same dashboard, same apps, same everything. I think that really rectifies the past, but the only problem is people don't look at that as a true, like, maybe next gen thing or upgrade, right? Like, where if you look at Sony, they do a situation where clearly they changed their entire dashboard and things like that, even though it was lacking things that the PS4 could do, including accessibility or whatever. It was still people looked at that as like, hey, this is a new thing. So when Microsoft is changing things around, I think that's always a cool thing. You know, Xbox always continued to gradually get better. The new update has some pretty cool stuff, highlighting this month's update, a new compact mode in the Xbox app on PC, relevant to me, describes it as a new feature that enhances your gaming experience and provide a more intuitive user interface on smaller screens. In compact mode, the sidebar collapses, etc., etc. It's basically an update that's going to really help like Asus ROG Ally and things like that. You can also choose now to show only unread notifications in the notification drop-down app on PC. There's also a new gaming services repair tool to fix issues with gaming services or missing content when launching the Xbox app on PC. There's a new notification as well that will let players know if their wish-listed game has been added to Xbox Free Play Days, which lets Game Pass subscribers try out the full versions of selected titles each weekend at no additional charge, and players can now use phone authentication to redeem rewards directly from their console. There's also a new Xbox wireless controller firmware update that includes bug fixes to enable shift mode for the keyboard mapping on Elite Series 2 and Xbox adaptive controllers through the Xbox app. So that's really cool that they're continuing to sort of update these things and, you know, just make sure that everybody is going to be up to date. I think there was a problem with controllers disconnecting or something like that. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. Clearly Microsoft has a lot going on right now with, you know, with Game Pass and with you know, the Game Awards coming and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I think that it really makes sense for them to kind of go all out and make sure that all these updates, you know, especially at a time when right now it seems like Sony is getting nonstop kind of, I don't want to say hate, but they're getting a lot of negative press right now. So clearly we're in a situation where Microsoft is getting favorable things, and you know, I love that fact. You know, I love seeing Microsoft get their flowers for change, whereas you know, it just seems like Sony was the one that was kind of getting all the hype for everything. So it is nice to see even something like Redfall. And I don't know if this has anything, I'm not going to try and take credit for this, but a lot of people have been speaking up about this Xbox tax in the media. That can really harm a lot of the media sites and things like that. So I really do honestly think that we could be in a situation where when we look at, Xbox, people could stop going to those sites, and I think that, that's something that people kind of have to understand anyway, is, we control a lot of what goes on, right? Despite what a lot of people say or think, us the gamers actually do control a lot of what goes on, and, rightfully so. I think it all comes down to what us the fans want. So if there's people out there not being legit to Xbox, I think we have all the right in the world to kind of call that out and, tell people how we feel about it. Microsoft tends to get screwed over quite a lot, and now we're going to start to see them kind of get maybe what they deserve, and that's exactly what I want to see in the future anyway. So hopefully they'll continue to do that. Anyway, with that being said, what do you guys think about this new update? Are you excited for it? Sound off, let me know. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.